This is the 5th video presentation for the Case Animal course. As you view this video, make notes of important information. Pause, repeat, and resume the video whenever necessary. Welfarist or Rightist, Lesson 3.1, Animal Rights or Animal Wrongs. You just completed Activity 3.1.1, Animal Value, where you discussed the differences in the interpretation of the meaning of the word value and assessed animal value based on your personal use. Why is assigning value important? We will discuss how animal value impacts our opinions regarding how animals should be used. There are many ways in which value can be interpreted. Some people associate value with the monetary or commercial worth of an object, such as an animal, whereas others may look more at the intrinsic value, which is what they receive from the animal in terms of companionship and happiness. An animal may have different values placed upon it by humans throughout its lifetime. Additionally, not all people will value an animal in the same way. Consider the question, how might the many definitions of value affect how people perceive the value of an animal? Would you rather receive a puppy or a spider as a Christmas gift? Our personal experiences and knowledge will influence our choice. For example, many people will choose a puppy because it will return affection, can be trained, and is domesticated. However, cultures that revere spiders will be more likely to select the spider as a gift because they are viewed as valuable. Another example would be to consider a mouse, which can be perceived as a pet, a research animal, a pest, a nuisance, or even food for another pet. People with an animal welfare philosophy believe that it is acceptable to use animals for the benefit of humans, but that the animals should also be treated in a kind and compassionate manner. Nearly all farmers, agriculturists, and pet owners see themselves in this category. Many animal welfarists believe they provide a better life for an animal within the time frame of the life of the animal than it would have otherwise. This philosophy is sometimes also referred to as utilitarianism, which is the philosophy that the greater good is more important than the harm to one individual. You take a field trip to a local farm. There are market hogs on feed, cattle grazing in a small pasture, and 2 herding dogs in a kennel. What might an animal welfarist feel about this scene? Pause the video to consider and answer the question. Resume the video to check your answer. An animal welfarist will view the local farm as an example of appropriate care for the animals. By offering shelter and nutritional feed to the animals, the farmer is providing a safe and secure life for the animals. People with an animal rights philosophy believe that animals are equal to humans and should not be used for human benefit. Extreme animal rightists will go so far as to say that keeping pets and livestock is cruel and that all animals should be free. Animal activists will sometimes commit illegal acts of terrorism in an attempt to make their point. You take the same field trip to a local farm with market hogs on feed, cattle in a small pasture, and herding dogs in a kennel. What might an animal rightist feel about this scene? Consider the scenario again and pause the video as you respond. An animal rightist may view the local farm as an example of animal cruelty because the animals are being kept captive in pens and against their will. Animal rightists may also argue that the act of feeding animals to encourage quick weight gain for slaughter is inhumane. Dominion is yet another approach to animal care philosophies. Dominion is the power or right of governing or controlling. In relation to animal use, dominion is the right of humans to utilize animals for human benefit. Absolute dominion is fairly uncommon, as nearly all people value some animal to the point of feeding and caring for it. However, many people tend to believe in absolute dominion over certain species or categories of animals, such as insects or mice. In the media, outrageous scenes of animal abuse, cruelty, and neglect are seen. Unfortunately, these wrongdoings do happen throughout the world. People who care about animals, regardless of philosophy, however, are opposed to abuse and cruelty. Differences among animal welfarists and animal rightists typically arise from practices that, when not explained, may seem cruel or abusive. Education and open discussion can alleviate misconceptions. The key to finding common ground during discussions is to remain calm and focus on the welfare of animals. Animal abuse does happen, but abuse is not the norm. As a producer of animals, preventing misconceptions pertaining to animal agriculture is important. How can you prevent misconceptions? What should you do when you see animal abuse? Pause the video to respond to these questions in your notes. Resume the video to consider other ideas. Educating the public about management practices and the benefits from those practices will address misconceptions about animal agriculture. You should also encourage ethical behavior by reporting animal abuse to the appropriate authority. Is there such a thing as a correct philosophy? At this point, you may be just beginning to understand that values are driven by individuals. We are entitled to our own beliefs of animal use. However, misconceptions are prevalent in some animal organizations and organizational philosophies. Educating the public about the norms of agricultural animal production will help others see that not all producers are cruel and inhumane. Keeping an open mind will help producers understand that not all animal rightists are extremists. As a review, mark or highlight 3 key points in your notes that are important to remember from this presentation. List 2 ideas or concepts that relate to previous knowledge. List any questions you have about this topic. Discuss these questions with your instructor. Keep any notes you have from this presentation organized and available for use throughout the course. Through Activity 3.1.2, Understanding My Beliefs, you will determine your current opinions towards the beliefs of animal rightists and animal welfarists. This will help you understand how animal welfare and animal rights are differing belief systems pertaining to the acceptable use of animals. Your instructor will share specific instructions for Activity 3.1.2, Understanding My Beliefs.